Hey everyone, welcome to Can We Talk? It's one of our favorite new segments here at Inspire Online, and we're excited because as we've been getting to know so many of our staff and our dream teamers and the people all around our church, we're beginning to see so much more of just how much God is working in our families and our friends, and even behind the scenes. For some of the people that you might even see around church and around the lobby, around the sanctuary, but maybe never really got a chance to know what they do, what it's like. So we're going to take a moment in the next series or so to get to know a few of our staff members here at InspireChurch. And as you get to learn more about these folks who've not only answered a calling to serve in ministry, but also really answered a calling to serve others, you'll begin to see so much more of just how fun, how exciting it is to be a part of InspireChurch on staff, but also just how rich and rewarding of an experience it is every single day. So we're going to kick off this episode with one of our favorite people here on staff. You guys know her from the stage and from worship, and of course here Inspire Online. She's a regular here with us, and she's no stranger to the Inspire Online community. Would you welcome to Can We Talk, Miss Chelsea Robinson?
Hi.
Welcome. Oh, Chelsea, sorry. Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah.
We wanted to take some time to ask you things that maybe you answered before in the context of, professional dialogue with other things that you do with your job. But I think the people just really want to know you. I mean, they know you can sing. They know that you can do a whole bunch of really cool dance moves because she is a former cheerleader.
That's very debatable and questionable.
And then you also have a very diverse history. Just even not only living in Hawaii, but living on the mainland, having family all over, and even family in other countries, serving in missions. So tell us about what you do in Inspire, and tell us about how you came about getting here.
Yeah. So I feel like I know you guys online, but in case you don't know me, my name is Chelsea, and I am the marketing and communications director here at Inspire. But it's obviously I didn't start off that way. I actually was the worship intern when I first started out, and Henry was my worship director.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Eons ago.
Yeah. No, that was 2016 to 2017.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. But yeah, so it's funny because I was born and raised in Tennessee, and my mom's side of the family is from Hawaii. So when we found out that my grandma broke her femur, it kind of was this, we were in the process of moving. All our bags had been packed. Mm-hmm. So instead of moving to Florida, we ended up just moving back here.
Wow.
And so it was in that time of transition that I ended up going to Honolulu schools, and my friend Lauren at the time attended here, Lauren Shackles.
Wait, hold up. Hold up. So you were anticipating moving to Florida.
Yeah.
It turns into moving to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then you went to Honolulu.
I went to Honolulu, yeah. So I ended up moving my junior year of high school.
Okay.
Which, at the time it was kind of like, oh, I'm sad I'm going to miss my friends. But it's kind of really hard to be sad about moving here to Hawaii. And we didn't have family. Yeah. We didn't have family in Tennessee. So it was like we were moving back. All my aunties are here. All my aunties, uncles, grandparents, cousins. Yeah. So, I mean, it felt like home.
Yeah.
And so moved back my junior year, and my friend Lauren at school, we became instant friends, and she invited me to a youth service here. And so that was kind of the beginning of it all.
It's called Rev?
Yeah, it was called Revolution, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, Revolution. And I remember, in terms of getting involved at church, I ended up doing this talent show that they had for youth. And Pastor Drew, so after the talent show, Pastor Drew came to my school because we had this Bible study group called Ground Zero. She comes to my school and she's like, hey, here is Grayson, who was the youth worship leader at the time. He's like, here is Grayson's number. He's going to be texting you. You're on the worship team. It was not an ask.
That was your audition.
That was my audition. The talent show was my audition, and I was on the worship team literally that next week.
Wow.
So it was, yeah.
That's impressive.
It was definitely it felt like a speed, like a very speedy way to get involved at the church, but I'm super thankful for that because I felt like it helped me get plugged into Inspire early on.
That goes to show you, if you are hesitant about joining a talent competition, Hollywood Scouts could be there, talent agencies could be there, or pastors could be there.
I feel like the bigger takeaway from that is take your friend's invitation to come to church.
Yes,
there it is. There it is. Yeah. Say yes to the invitation.
Wow. Do you remember the song you sang?
I sang Shackles by Mandisa.
By Mary Mary.
Well, it was Mary Mary, but the rendition I did was Mandisa.
Would you like to share with us?
I would not.
A slight snippet.
I would not. But thank you so much, Henry Motu.
Verse 2, at least?
That one goes high in the heavens.
That one does go high. Yeah. This goes pretty high. Okay. So you're here. You start attending. Mm-hmm. You start attending regular services. Yeah. What was it for you that, it's often said that getting or answering a calling in ministry mm-hmm. Is both the obvious yes and the most confusing yes.
Yeah.
Because it is a breakaway from the norm, but it's a jump that when you make it, it's just like this is where I should be. This is absolutely where I need to be. What was that for you? As you were going through and thinking, oh my gosh, I feel like God is speaking to me. I feel like this is actually where I need to be.
Yeah. So I started coming to Inspire in 2012, but I would say that kind of pivotal year for me in terms of this is me becoming serious about my faith. This is me becoming serious about serving the church happened in 2015. Okay. So I got engaged right out of high school and
same. We'll get to that in another episode. We'll unpack that one.
And so at the time in 2015, I'd been engaged for a year, and I kind of felt this sense of we're both not growing in our walk. And I didn't really understand why, because both of us loved the Lord. We were both serving, like we both were church kids, growing up. So it was just so foreign as to like, why are we both stuck? And during that time, I was preparing to go on a mission trip to Cambodia. And so it's this kind of like faith journey of like raising money, I worked for my family's business, but it was like, this was the biggest like expense trip that I'd ever like paid for on my own. And just kind of like
big adult move.
It was. And like preparing to get ready. There were so many times along the way that I was like, you know what, I'm not going. But the mission trip was to work with girls who had been, impacted by human trafficking. And it's an organization called She Rescue in Cambodia. And so during that time of like that relationship, I'm also preparing for this mission trip. And I want to say it was maybe like 2 or 3 weeks right before we went on our mission trip. God told me that I needed to end that relationship. And I remember thinking like, I had my life planned out. Like for me, I felt like I literally had every next step planned. I was going to graduate from college. I was going to get married. I was going to have a family and kids and everything. And it felt like this straight line. And here it is. God was just like messing up my entire plan without acknowledging. Yeah. You know what? It's like he didn't even consult me first. He was just like, I want you to do this. And I remember, I remember that breakup happening, and then I went to Cambodia, and it was a life-changing moment for me because I remember getting to lead kids in worship.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the pictures.
Yeah, and that was I still like to this day. If there is any group that if you said where do you want to lead, it would be kids worship, because their hearts are just so open and they're so receptive to receiving Jesus and to letting him into their hearts and express it during worship. And so that there is this moment in Cambodia where we were leading, and my eyes were closed, and I got down on my knees, and I was just lifting my hands to God. And when I opened my eyes, all of the kids had followed.
Wow.
And to me, it was just it was such a it was just a moment that I had with God, because here it was that I was like all sad and in my feels because I'm like, you made me break up with my like fiance at the time. But
Oof,
I'm
yeah.
like, but you know what? This wouldn't have happened. I felt like it
Yeah.
was an act of obedience. And when I ended up coming back from Cambodia, Pastor Franco at the time, who was the creative director, called me up and was like, would you ever be interested in like leading kids worship or like being a
Wow.
kids worship intern? And that was the start of my internship here, and that was
Wow.
the start of my like job here.
Mhm.
So it's like for me, it kind of felt like that step right there, that act of obedience,
Sure.
the breakup, going to Cambodia, all of that was just the result of being obedient to God. But
Mhm.
it I would say that was kind of like the pivotal moment for me in my
Yeah.
like walk with God and getting plugged in here to Inspire.
Okay, so fast forward. Now you are the marketing director.
Yeah.
Tell us about what a typical day for you. What does that look like?
Yeah.
As the marketing director in InspireChurch.
Yeah. This is actually my favorite part of the job, is that my day, my week, my month never looks the same.
Yeah.
And so some days I come in and we are filming a script for Pastor Mike and Pastor Lisa for At the Movie. Some days I come in and we are working on a campaign for an upcoming event like Easter or Arise or Christmas.
Yeah.
And then some days it is coming in and you are doing admin work. You are putting together schedules and plans for the upcoming month. But I love the fact that it never looks the same. Every day is different.
Yeah.
And I personally, I know people that they need that consistency of 9 to 5. You do the same thing every day.
They're out there.
Yeah. But I feel like for a creative type of job, especially in marketing, it's just never going to be the same type of day.
Yeah. So projects vary then. It's like some are condensed down to right there and now, and others are campaigns that you've been planning out for weeks on end.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of that whole process? Like, is it the end game? Is it getting it done? Or is it the collaboration part? Is it when in the beginning when the vision's being casted? What's your favorite part of that whole process?
I live in the dream process.
Oh yeah.
That is my Pinterest is my best friend.
Oh, it's my best friend too.
And it's just a great resource to use when you're like, I don't know what to like plan for a campaign. I need inspiration on what to do for an event. Pinterest has everything. Literally everything. And so I love that dream process. I love whenever for every project, you always have like some type of group collaboration where everybody who needs to be in the room is in the room and you're talking about what can you do. I love that process. I love that process even more when you're given like 2 weeks and then you're told, hey, in 2 weeks, we're going to come talk about this. So then it's like 2 weeks worth of dreaming and planning and you know, just kind of like thinking in your mind of like what could be.
Right.
So I love the dream process because I love thinking about everything that could be and what will be. And then it's also super cool at the very end to be like, wow, we dreamed of that and we did it.
That looks good. Pinterest is gold, you guys.
Oh,
if
so good.
I use it in the mall.
Yeah.
When I go to a store or my favorite stores to get clothes, I find a piece that I really like. I'll meet, and it's like a yellow jacket. I'll just Pinterest yellow jacket menswear, and I'll look at all the combos that I see that will work well, and then I'll look for ways to make it happen because I won't be able to come up with it myself.
Yep.
Just a little hint for you guys. Definitely use it. It's one of the best joys here is that the things that we get to do and the projects that you're involved in also have an investment in lives. Like it's very much not just something for show, it's something to reach.
Yeah.
Can you share a story of where like something's happened as a result, or someone was impacted as a result of something that maybe you of course you prayed into it and you believed that it was going to be great, but maybe you were also in a little bit of part of you like, oh wow, that did something. That reached someone's heart.
Yeah.
Tell us the story.
So I love it when you guys message us and DM us on social media.
Oh, it's fun.
I absolutely love it. I hope you know that me and Henry read Facebook, but me and the team, we read all of your messages on social media from InspireChurch. So I hope you know it never goes unread. We will respond. But I remember, so for Arise, we have our own Arise Instagram.
Yeah.
And so during that time, during conference season, I have like a conference team that normally handles like social media for Arise. And it just so happened that, sorry, let me go back.
Yeah.
Arise is our women's ministry here at Inspire. And we have one of the largest women's conference on Oahu. And so we basically, we get all these DMs during conference. And so, my team knows like, hey, please go in during this time. Typically, I'm doing like online hosting or pre-show or something else. So I have my team take care of social media. But this past year, I was getting ready for conference. Conference was, I think, on the 16th or something. It was like a couple of hours before.
Wow.
And I had some free time getting ready, and I was like, I'm just gonna check the DMs. Like I know my team had already taken care of it, but it's like a couple of hours before conference. It's probably good. Like we try to check it.
Through.
Yeah. Check it every hour just because people always have questions. And so I checked our DMs, and literally someone had messaged us maybe 30 minutes before I checked. And her name was Amanda, and she basically sent us the story of, hey, I heard about your conference. I was diagnosed with a terminal disease, and have been getting treatment here in Hawaii, and I basically was supposed to be gone by now. I was getting treatment. My treatment was supposed to be up, and I was supposed to be leaving. But she messaged us, and she said, "But I prayed to God, like, if you allow me to stay, please allow me to go to this conference."
Wow.
And so she just messaged us and asked us, because at the time, like there were limited spots left at the conference. A Rise conference fills up fast. Shameless plug: register now for a Rise conference.
Yeah, it's gonna fill up, y'all.
It's gonna fill up fast.
Yeah.
But she messaged us: is there any more seats available? Like, is there any way that me and my nurse can still get into conference? And what I love about that is she didn't just ask for herself.
Yeah.
She asked for her nurse to go with her. And so immediately I'm at the church. I go to Evie. I'm like, Evie, she's our Rise Women's Director. I'm like, we have to make this happen. We have to make this happen. So I ended up calling her like right then and there. And I'm like, your and your nurse's ticket is on us. We want to bless you.
Wow.
And it's so fun. She accidentally sent me a picture of her and her nurse at conference, but I was like, I was so glad she sent me that picture, because I'm like, she came, she said she loved it.
Wow.
She was so impacted. Like Lisa Harper was on one of her, like, she like, it was a must see.
Yeah. What a night.
Must hear. Like Lisa Harper had been one of her like influential like leaders in her life. And so, I mean, it was one of those, it was a simple DM.
Yeah.
It was a simple DM. But I always tell like my team, when you look at social media is the largest outreach of InspireChurch, because within seconds, you are able to give hope to someone who needs hope. You're able to bring life, bring faith. You can completely change somebody's day by a reel, a post, a video.
So good.
And so it was a simple DM, but it was a DM that honestly it changed my life. I will not let a DM go by now. I'm just kind of like, we gotta check. But
that's so good.
Yeah.
And that's probably why it's so important to be very intentional with posts and the reels.
Yeah.
It's not just something that looks cool or it's fun to do, but there really is an evangelistic arm. There's something in there that is for everyone, that someone can look at it, hear from the message that's being delivered, whether it's a long-standing message from the pulpit, or if it's just a really quick 5 to 10 second encouragement. There's always something that you can grab from it, and it's very intentional.
Yeah.
And lives like that, oh wow, powerful. I think I remember seeing her in there, because I had walked through and I don't remember. There are people that I'm like, oh, they've been here before, or they are with a group of ladies who've been here before, and then her and her nurse were kind of just there, but they look like they're having so much fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. A lot of creatives now are kind of coming into their own, especially in in ministry and in churches. What would you say for someone who's looking for or looking forward to jumping into creative ministry
Yeah.
altogether?
Well, first off, DM InspireChurch because I read our DMs.
Yes.
So DM us that you want to join and send me your contact info, email, number. We will reach back out to you. We will get you connected right away.
Yeah.
But I honestly, kind of going back to the beginning, how I first came to Inspire through an invitation. I hope you consider this your invitation.
Yeah.
Join the creative team. If this is something that's been on your heart, you're like, I'm a designer. I'm great with social media. I'm great with videos. I'm a great photographer. And you're like, I want to give back to the church. This is your invitation.
Yeah.
Say yes. Say yes to that invitation. And honestly, reach out to us. You can go to info@inspire.church and email us.
You can flag us down in the lobby.
You can flag us down in the lobby. You can DM us. I mean, honestly, there are so many ways that you can reach out to us.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure on our website, we have a get involved dream team sign up. We call our amazing volunteers the dream team because they truly are. They every single person on this team is a dream team. So I would just encourage you, let go of any insecurity. Yeah. Let go of anything that's telling you that it's not the right time, that you need to hone in on your craft more. One of the best parts is being a part of a team where you can grow together. So just say yes.
Yeah.
Say yes and reach out to us.
Yeah, definitely join in. It's a lot of fun, of course, but it's also, I feel like everyone's receiving God's wisdom and truth and the touch from God in such unique ways. And a lot of us love hearing the message and hearing the word of God being preached. And a lot of us can really relate to that. But there are some of us who maybe through something as simple as a photo or something as simple as a post, that the beginning of that the God encounter can really open up doors for the gospel to settle in and to become truth. Yeah. But it's really about those doorways opening.
Yeah, exactly.
Through whatever means possible.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the creative team. Such an incredible effort, all for God's kingdom. Yeah. But also at the same time, a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. We have the most fun.
So much fun.
The most fun.
So definitely join in. And of course, you can meet Chelsea. She'd love to show you more about what she does. And if you feel like you aren't a creative person, like I can't draw, I can't do any of that. Here, I truly believe that we've all been created to create.
Amen.
With that which God has given us. Be creative in our own artistic expression, but also being creative in our own way of helping others out. Maybe creativity for you is expressed through an effort. Maybe it's expressed through an action. Maybe you're like, I can build something, but I can't dream it. I'm like, that's creativity.
That's okay.
That's still creativity.
Yeah.
You're executing a vision that maybe only you can do in that particular way. And that's the uniqueness of God, but also his creative genius working in and through you. So love it. Chelsea, thanks for jumping in with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for letting us get to know you just a bit more.
Yeah. And, love the online family.
Yeah. And we look forward to seeing you guys on our next one. Stay tuned because we got a whole bunch of more people that we want to get to know a lot better and also invite you to be a part of the experience as well. Take care. We'll see you next time.